All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our our season 4 playoff podcast. Still does not have a creative name, but at this point, we've all given up on it. So we'll be covering the quarterfinals for both the NIT and the regular FCS playoffs, and we'll give a quick preview of the semifinals for both of those tournaments, which will start tomorrow, which will be Monday the 12th. So, getting right into it, the first game that we have here is number 10 Penn taking on number 18 Montana. And unfortunately for Montana, the Cinderella run comes to a close here against Penn as they lose 21-17. Penn just played really good defense except for a second quarter in which they gave up 10 points. Penn had a consistent offense. They scored in the first, third, and fourth quarters. So going through here, Montana obviously option team, so they ran the ball a lot, as did Penn, another option team. Montana with 272 yards, Penn with 217. Montana also dominating time of possession with 19 minutes and 3 seconds compared to 8 minutes and 57 seconds for Penn, and scoring a field goal. But Penn was able to work fast with the ball and be efficient, and that's where they won the game because Montana dominated every single stat. There were no turnovers, but at the end of the day, what Penn was able to do with the ball was different than what Montana did, and that's where Penn won.
Yeah, the offensive efficiency at a Penn really shined bright, and Montana just couldn't quite convert on every drive to stay pace with Penn. Moving into the next game, we have number 3 Mississippi Valley State going up against number 11 New Hampshire. In another upset, New Hampshire moves itself into the semifinal, beating Mississippi Valley State 28-21. This game was pretty much as close as you can get stats-wise. The only real hiccup comes from Mississippi Valley State giving up a turnover. But a solid all-around effort for both teams. New Hampshire limited this MVSU offense in the first half to 0 points, something that not many teams have been able to do this season. And then coming out of the second half, both teams traded touchdowns on 5 straight possessions. New Hampshire's was able to just get those field goals early and put themselves ahead and took the win 28-21.
Yeah, not what Mississippi Valley State wants after an incredible regular season, winning 10 straight, losing 1, and then winning out, making it all the way to the quarterfinals. There's a lot to look forward to next season, and we'll see what we can get out of Brady. But for now, it's a tough loss. They'll definitely reflect on that and turn around and hope for a better start, or hope for a good start to next season to try and replicate what they did in season 4.
Yeah, great season for Brady. A little bit, top 4. I think it's 3, right? So, yeah, good season by him. I think it was the last undefeated. But better game by New Hampshire this week. So, good job on them. Keep moving.
We'll see how far New Hampshire gets. This next game does have an ace on team, but I will give up the basics of this before we get Slow's opinion on this one. Campbell absolutely blowing the doors off of Cal Poly, 41-14. Not much a difference in yards. Campbell had 296, Cal Poly had 205. But turnovers is where Cal Poly lost this game. They gave up the ball 3 times compared to Campbell only giving up the ball once. And you look at the box score, it's just Campbell 7-14, 7-13, Cal Poly 7-7, 0-0. So 21-14 game at half, which is not what many of us expected out of Campbell. We expected them to go down early and then struggle to come back. But what they were able to do on offense, take control, and then force a shutout out of Fruity in the second half, just truly amazing. Great performance from Campbell. Don't know if Slow has any opinions on this, as it is Campbell.
Sorry, I got distracted for a sec.
Oh, watching Mickey Mouse, huh?
I had to deal with him for a sec. Talk about Campbell. It's great season by him. An awesome game by him, just dominating Cal Poly. So excited to see what comes from it. It was a great season by him so far, and forced a couple turnovers, barely won in time possession, not a big difference. So, yeah, great game by him.
You can just go into the ASUN game. I know you want to cover this one,
Ooh,
the rematch of the
yeah.
championship.
We got Bethune-Cookman and Alabama A&M, a conference championship rematch already, and the same winner came out. I think it was a closer game this time, but it was still a Bethune-Cookman win. Yeah, it was a 7-point game last time, 1-point game this time. But yeah, Bethune-Cookman still came out on top. A little bit of a comeback victory. A&M had the lead late, but Bethune-Cookman drove down the field and put in, I forget what the touchdown or field goal, but put in another score, put themselves on top, and just the dominance of Bethune-Cookman continues this season. They get another win, moving on to semifinals, and we'll see if they can keep it going. Hardest schedule so far this year, and still number one team. So this is nothing new for them these next two games if they can make it past this week's opponent.
Speaking of which, we will get right into the predictions here. The first one is going to be an all ASUN team, which means we will get an ASUN team in the final. It's going to be Bethune-Cookman versus Campbell. I'm going to give my quick prediction here. I do think Bethune-Cookman will end Campbell's Cinderella run, and I think they're going to win soundly. I think it'll be 35-7 is what I'll say, just because of Bethune-Cookman's really good defense.
As a fan of storylines, both of these teams, I really wish they were on opposite sides of the bracket because I really want to see both in the championship game. You got one team who's just had an unbelievable season, another one in the most Cinderella story we've probably had all year. But I'm gonna take Campbell. I think the Campbells, man, they've been playing really well. The score, I think this one's tight. I think it might be a weird 27-24 victory where a couple field goals keep it close, or get the winner. Sorry, not keep it close.
I'm cheering for Bethune-Cookman here. I want to see this keep going. I think it's gonna be a close game. It might be pretty similar to the A&M game you just played. But I'm gonna go Bethune-Cookman by 3, 30-27, something like that. It'll be a close one. It'll be a good one.
And then the second game, the battle of the two double-digit seeds. Sorry, New Hampshire and Penn. And Penn, obviously, you know how it is with the stats whiz, but University of New Hampshire has been putting together a quietly strong season and a quietly strong playoffs, knocking out Delaware CAA champs and the Dick champs, Mississippi Valley. So we'll see if New Hampshire can pull off the upset here against a strong Penn team. I'm actually going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go New Hampshire by 3 in a close one on a last-second field goal, 27-24.
I'm gonna take Penn. Penn has kind of blown out all their opponents outside of really this last game, and I think Penn takes this one somewhere in the ballpark of 38-24, 38-21, something like that. Penn, their offense has been rolling. I would not be shocked if they have another pretty solid effort out there.
I'm gonna go with Penn. And if my two predictions are right, that would probably be that's the best matchup, I think, out of these four teams. From a storyline view, one, these are two of the most dominant teams since I've been in the league, and two, Jock's up against her old team who replaced her with a coach just as dominant, if not more. And besides that, it'll just be a great game. So I think Penn here, it'll still be a close one. New Hampshire's been playing great. I say Jocks by 7, and for score, I'll say 30-23 or 28-21, something like that. So it'll be a great game, but I'm cheering for Bethune-Cookman versus Penn.
All right. What we got for the FCS playoffs. So as I actually remember to flip the graphics here, we're going to talk about the NIT. And so the NIT quarterfinals, 3 out of 4 games are done. The last game is practically over. It will be ended Sunday night. So I know Ryan had the first game, the 16v8. So I know you want to go into that one.
Yep. So we have number 16 Elon versus number 8 Idaho. The 16 seed Elon, the highest remaining seed in either of the two brackets, takes down the 8 seed in Idaho 40-31 in quite an explosive offensive game. Both teams really were cooking, getting to the later half of the ball game, but it was a solid start at Idaho, which then momentum was basically killed on a turnover, and from there Elon took the lead, and it just kind of the score is close at the end, but in the final 2 or 3 minutes, Idaho scored to make that closer, much more close than it really was. Elon did not outgain Idaho, but made more of their possessions on offense, and that really was the difference maker, as both teams really held the ball pretty similarly. Both had a turnover, and Idaho missing 2 out of 3 field goals also definitely hurt their chances, and had to play a little bit differently towards the stretch, and actually ended up giving a much better decisions for Elon down the stretch of the game.
Yeah, tough for Idaho. We will see the OG Pimp Daddy. I think he is leaving for a little bit just because of his work. So tough way to go out for him. Hopefully he comes back when he is free and able to do this stuff again. But for Elon, 16 seed, continuing the Cinderella run, and they will play another double-digit seed because the next game on the dock here is number 12 Maine versus number 13 Prairie View. Prairie View eked out a win here, 45-42, outgaining Maine 458 yards to 387, making 1 field goal, and then giving up only 2 turnovers and forcing 4 for Prairie View, which really was the difference here. And for Prairie View, now it'll be interesting to see the 2 low seeds, 13v16, in this game. I don't really know much about either team. I do know a little bit about Maine. Obviously, coach is going to retire after this year. So sad to see him go, and we'll see how the semifinal plays out between Prairie View and Elon.
Yeah, that should be a great game. I think I definitely remember seeing the close game ping for Prairie View and Maine, and so that was a pretty good game. And yeah, Elon just on a Cinderella run. It's cool to see. Hoping I can meet Ryan in the NIT finals. That'd be awesome. But I still got another game to get through against a tough opponent. So, well, I gotta finish this game first, and then gotta get through that game.
Speaking of which, you can go ahead with that one. I know there's a little bit of time left, but in our eyes, it's practically over. So yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, there's most of the third quarter left, but I am up 38-14 with 3:40 left. Yeah. It's just been the game started off with I got ball first. Well, no, I forget. Oh, I was kicking off. I deferred. I was kicking off, but I zero diffed, so he fumbled, and I got a touchdown right off the bat. And it just hasn't got much better for him since. So it's been a slow game, but I still just been consistently moving the ball and keeping it going. And the bot has given me 100% chance to win. So I think it's broken, but it's still halfway through the third. If it's gonna be an epic collapse if I manage to mess this up. But if I do finish it out, I got Matt up in the next game, which I forget who. I know he was up against Stanford in the previous round. So Matt's on a little ASUN tour. What he beats? Anybody have the score for the Sanford game? I don't have that right in front of me.
He played Sanford
JSU.
in the first round. It was 35-23. And then in this round, he beat Bucknell 35-27.
Oh, Bucknell. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sanford second round. It was Bucknell this round. Okay. Yeah, so he's had a tough opponent. Another tough opponent they got through. I think if he had been able to be here the whole season, he'd probably be in the playoffs right now. So yeah, tough game, but not impossible. I beat him before. So I'm gonna have confidence going into that game. Or hopefully I can meet Ryan. It'll be a good game.
Yep. And then that will bring us right into that final game of the second round. Jacksonville State does beat Bucknell 35-27 in a game that is surprising with the scoreline. Looking at the stats, 3 turnovers out of this Jacksonville State team, but dominated time of possession, held onto the ball, so when it counted, they were able to score. And Bucknell just settling for field goals on 2 possessions where had they scored, it would have been tied game, maybe OT. You don't really know. It comes down to the stretch tie game. Big plays happen with big players. But yes, Jacksonville State survives an ugly game and gets to move on to the semifinal.
So speaking of which, look at our transition game, man. We are undefeated. The semifinals, we have number 13 Prairie View taking on number 16 Elon. Maybe a little bit of host bias here, but I am hoping for an Elon win. I'm going to go 27-14 in a low-scoring battle.
I'm going to abstain from predicting this one.
I'm also going to pick Elon. A little bit of run end of the season into the NIT. I think it keeps up. I'm going to go. I'll go a little bit of high scoring game, like 38-30 or 38-27. So somewhere around there. I think it'll be a nice, comfortable win. Not dominating, but comfortable.
And then the last game that we'll talk about is the other semifinal between Florida A&M or Abilene Christian. I'm just going to say Florida A&M. And then Jacksonville State. So it'll be a 3 seed versus a 7 seed, and or 6 seed versus 7 seed. I'm going to go with Jacksonville State losing whomever they play, whether it be Abilene Christian or Florida A&M. If it's Abilene Christian, I do think it'll be a high-scoring affair. Like, I'm going to go Abilene Christian scores, like, in the 50s somewhere, and Jacksonville State scores in the 40s. If it's Florida A&M, I'm going to be a little bit more realistic with it, and I'll say it'll be like a 38-27, 38-28 victory maybe. So like a 10-point margin.
Yeah, I'm also, if it is Florida A&M, I also am taking Florida A&M. Their offense has been clicking, and special teams has made big plays throughout both of their NIT games. And the 3 turnovers by Jacksonville State in the last round kind of scare me. They really cannot make mistakes because this Florida A&M team has just found a way to score points whenever possible. So I'm going to go somewhere in the 40s for Florida A&M and probably like 28 for Jacksonville State.
I'm not sure I agree with you that you think I can keep Jacksonville State under 30, but I like the confidence. Yeah, my defense has not been great this season, but hit the playoffs and my offense has just clicked, and it's been amazing.
Well,
so I'm hoping to keep it up, but Matt's a tough opponent.
Yeah, Matt is a tough opponent, obviously taking down the number 1 seed in the country. So that'll conclude our season 4 playoff podcast, our quarterfinal recaps. We're still planning whether we do just a semifinal episode and then cover the finals, or if we turn that all into one. We'll see how things go and how fast the games move. But as for now, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Pello, for sticking around. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. That'll be it from us. See you guys.
See